From Telephone to Facetime by Caleb Adams. The day will come when the man at the telephone will be able to see the distant person to whom he is speaking. Alexander Graham Bell spoke these words back in the 1800s. The inventor of the telephone knew what he was talking about. Thanks to technology, people can now talk face-to-face with someone thousands of miles away. When telephones were invented, most people did not understand how electrical machines worked. Therefore, some people were afraid of telephones. Rumors spread that conversations were not private or that telephones could cause people to become deaf. Others did not see why telephones were useful. President Rutherford B. Hayes, 19th President of the United States, tested the telephone back in 1876. He had one put into the White House a year later. However, he had this to say about the telephone. An amazing invention, but who would ever want to use one? An idea takes hold. Ring! At first, the telephone was a strange new idea to the world. People did not even know what to say when they answered it. Alexander Graham Bell thought, "Ahoy!" A call used by sailors worked well. But inventor Thomas Alva Edison had another idea. He hoped the word hello would catch on as the best telephone greeting. He put the greeting, hello, in his operating manuals for the telephone. By 1880, people were saying hello to start phone conversations. Once people saw how useful a telephone could be, the demand for phones went up sharply. By 1900, Bell's company had almost 600,000 phones in use. That number increased to 6 million by 1910. When telephones were first installed in homes, people could make calls only through an operator's help. By the 1920s, people could call numbers without an operator.
Switchboard operators around 1915.
The phone became part of people's everyday lives. Push-button telephones replaced rotary dial phones in 1963. People were reluctant to give up their old phones, so Bell Telephone created a video to demonstrate how easy it was to use push-button phones. Not having to dial also saved time. Off-the-wall technology. For almost a century, telephone signals could only be sent along cables and into the walls of buildings. Cable phones are called landlines. But another important discovery came along in 1973, the world's first cell phone. People could now carry a phone down the street. Cellular phone technology is different from landline technology. Signals go through the air instead of through wires. Signals go from large towers to the phone. But the first cell phones were big and cost a lot of money too. Not many people had them. Cell phones did not get small enough to fit into people's pockets until around 2000. Once that happened, more and more people bought them. Many phones became smarter too. These smartphones can do a lot more than make calls. They work like computers. In 2003, a computer software program called Skype was introduced, allowing people to make video calls on the internet. Now video calls can be made from a cell phone. People can send photos and written messages with cell phones too. They can surf the internet. According to Digital Trends, a technology information website, as of 2014, there were more cell phones than people on Earth. We have come a long way from Alexander Graham Bell's first phone.
The history of the telephone. 1876. Alexander Graham Bell invents the telephone. 1900. Phone calls can be made between major U.S. cities. 1915. First telephone call reaches across the country from New York to California. It took 2,500 tons of copper wire and 130,000 telephone poles to make the call. 1919. People begin to make calls person to person instead of through an operator. 1929. President Herbert Hoover installs a phone on his desk. 1963. For the first time, people can push numbered buttons to make a call instead of using a round or rotary dial. 1968. 911 becomes the nationwide phone number to call in case of an emergency. 1973. The first portable cell phone call is made in New York City. 2000. Cell phones are made to be the size of a deck of cards. By this year, there are 100 million cell phone users in the United States. 2003. Computer software application Skype is founded in Sweden by Niklas Zenström and Jonas Friis. 2010. Video calling software Facetime is introduced on the Apple iPhone, a brand of cell phone. 2014. There are more cell phones than people on Earth.